Okay, so let's start standing up. So we'll continue on the theme of the neutral, of the basics of working on opening our thoracic spine and stabilizing our lower back. So Sarah, if you don't have a squishy ball,
I've got my pogo ball.
Yeah, I know, but we want a squishy ball as well. So have you got a towel that you can just roll up into a tube or a cushion?
My roller.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we use a roller, but it's a little bit high, but we'll see how we get on with it. Okay. So standing on the floor. So yeah, just dump your ball on the floor there, Annie. That's fine. Roll those shoulders up to the ears, back and down. Roll those shoulders up to the ears, back and down. And then just standing on the ground, you can't see my feet, unfortunately, just rocking your feet forwards and rocking backwards. So I go up onto tiptoe, back onto my heels, up onto tiptoe, back on my heels, up onto the tiptoes, back on my heels. And then just make that rock smaller and smaller and feel all of the ground under your feet. Lift your toes up. And then spread your toes on the ground and claw your toes into the ground. And then stretch your toes apart and lift them all up and try to separate all the toes from each other and then claw them into the ground. And then release them, lift them up and then just release them so they lay flat on the floor. And then roll the feet onto the outside edge. And then roll the feet onto the inside edge. So we're moving the ankles. Roll the feet onto the outside edge. Roll the feet onto the inside edge. And then let your feet settle in the middle and roll both feet over onto the left side and both onto the right side. Onto the left.
Oh, it's like doing slalom.
Yeah, exactly. And then just roll forwards. Do a circle with your feet. So you go forwards to the toes, round to the outside, onto the back, round to the other side. So I'm going clockwise. And then I'm going to go anti-clockwise. So we're just getting the ankles moving and acquainting the whole of the sole of our foot with the floor. Lift those toes up, spread them down, and then just bounce those knees, but bounce by dropping your bum backwards. As opposed to standing here and pushing the knee forward. If you stand up tall and push the knee forward, you feel the load into the front of your knee. If you keep the knee there and drop the bum backwards, you're still bending the knee, but then you haven't got the load into it. So we're bending at the hip, bending at the knee. Taking the bottom backwards, and then just leave it back, and then just swing the bottom to the left, and swing the bottom to the right. Swing it left, swing it right, and then put your hands on your knees and swing it left, swing it right, and then stop there, arch that back up, and then turn the tailbone around, stick your bottom out behind you and sink your back down and stretch. So this is like we do sitting on the mat. So we can arch the back up. Eyes come down, tailbone goes down, and then tailbone comes up, eyes come up, and we sink the tummy down and stretch through these hamstrings. Really try and turn that tailbone to the sky, and then pull the tailbone to the floor and arch that back up. And then turn that tailbone up, eyes come up, relax those shoulders. Okay, roll your body up to tall. And then we're going to move that pelvis, moving around like we're doing the hula hoop. So moving through that back and then going the other way. Good. And then stopping in the middle. Take the right hand up into the air, left hand down, and really stretch those hands apart and reach over your body. Trying to stay in one plane like we do when we're laying on our back on the floor. And then bring that right arm down to the floor, left arm up, and push that arm up, pushing it away from this. Right hand down, left arm up, feel the stretch all the way down through this side. And then change arms again. So if your back is feeling delicate in the lower back, put the hand on the side and just support it. And then you can just spindle a bit so the front of your body goes to the sky and then the back of your body, so you feel the stretch change through that hip area. And then turn those arms and change sides. And spindle that body again. And then bring yourself back up to neutral, to vertical. Roll the shoulders up to the ears, down and back. Roll the shoulders up to the ears, down and back. Bring those elbows in too. Take those arms up to follow, all the way around, all the way up, around and down, all the way up, around. Leave them here and take hold of your hands behind and push those hands away. Breathing in, breathing out. Push the hands away and lift those hands up. Lift those hands up. Now soften the knees, take the bum up in the air and just let yourself hang down and let those arms hang. Keep hold of them, don't let them let go. And just stretch those shoulders. Let those arms come back onto your bum and then bring them down the back of your legs, separating them, and let them just hang down towards the floor. And then breathing in, and then on the out breath, rolling up to standing. Okay, grab your tennis ball or your polo ball, and I just want you to put it on the floor on the mat. And if you need to have your hockey stick or your stick for support or hold on to something, then that's fine. But take the ball and you're going to put it under the ball of your foot. And you're just going to roll it forwards to the heel and back. Slowly forward through the arch of the foot and back. So it's massaging through that foot, forwards and back. And then leave it under your toes and roll it a bit to the big toe, down the line of the toe joints to the little toe, and then back. And then put it onto the ball of the foot and just put a bit of pressure on your foot and just feel the bones stretching. Actually, this will probably be a bit hard for you, Sarah, with that.
Well, it's probably good for me because I've got a toe on that side. I broke years ago and it's always been a bit odd since then.
Okay. So then move that ball slowly through the arch of the foot, down that spring ligament and into the arch, and roll it left and right so as it goes through the arch. Push down on the arch so you give it a massage through that arch, through those ligaments, and then move it through to the heel. And you can just put the toes on the floor and you can move the heel left and right. And then have that in the center and then pull that back and then get it under the toes again. And you can claw those toes around the ball. And then you can take those toes all away from the ball. And you can claw them around and you can just move the ball to the little toes and through to the big toe. And then push it through to the arch of the foot again. Now, when you've got it under the middle of your foot, you might find that your knee, so as I'm standing now, I've got my knee rolled in. So I'm going to hold the pressure on the ball and use the glute, so that clam exercise, to pull that knee out. So this is Annie in running. This is important to get that foot hits the floor and this bum muscle supports that leg, because that will protect your lower back and help your lower back. So moving that foot forwards and backwards, but keeping this knee by having this glute engaged. Okay, and release that leg. Now we're going to put the left leg on the floor. Now pull that knee outwards, so we're supporting that left leg. And then put the right foot on the ball. So you the other foot. Sliding that foot forwards and backwards. Sorry, I've got my left and right muddled up. Forwards and back with that ball. So up the centre line of the foot to the heel, and then all the way back. Get it to the toes and roll it left and right under those toes. So it's stretching the toes upward and stretching those toe joints, spreading those toes away. And then move the ball into the ball of the foot and just push down on it and feel the foot spread over it. Push down and bounce, and then move that ball into the arch of the foot. And then just running it up and down the outside edge, through the middle of the arch, up to the inside of the arch, and then you can just gently go side to side. Obviously, you've got to find the limit so it doesn't disappear away from you, and then get to the heel. Balance the toe, touch the toes on the floor, and push that heel down. Push the heel to the left, push the heel to the right, left and right. So we get the, so we're getting the sensitivity back into the foot. And then do the whole length of your foot. And rest with it with the toes, with it under the toe joint. Lift those toes up and spread them, and then claw them all the way around as if you're trying to pick that ball up off the floor. And then spread those toes away again. And then claw them around the ball. And then push through the ball of the foot and take it down to the arch. And then look down at your foot, have the foot resting in the middle of the ball, and check that your knee is supported out and your bum has engaged it. So that we've got the knees, ankle, knee, hip in a line. Same with this other leg, we've got the knee holding out. I haven't got my knee rolling in like that. And up the inner thighs in, the knees pulled out by the glute. Okay, take that foot off the ball. So, standing.
That's lovely when you take the ball away, isn't it?
Yeah, and then you feel the blood flow into your feet, and you feel them a bit tingly, and you feel the feet are, you can feel the feet, the sensitivity of the feet onto the floor. So lift those toes, spread them on the ground, engage those glutes and pull those knees apart, draw in the core. Feel at your pelvis, so we've got our middle bottom pointing down to the floor. Roll those shoulders up and back, pulling up in the middle here. So what I was trying to explain earlier with the pelvis is the pelvis has got to be vertical. So often we have it so the tailbone is backward and the pubic bone's back, and the top edge of the pelvis is forward. So we've got to tighten the bum and open through those hip flexors, tighten the tummy and protect this lower back, and then stretch the chest here and open that so that we're up tall, and we roll the shoulders up to the ears, back and down. Roll the shoulders up to the ears, back and down. Take those arms really high in a big circle with those shoulders. Leave those hands together above your head and reach them up high. Push the right hand away from the right side. And then the left hand away from the left side. And then bring those arms all the way wide. Bring them down. And then we're going to bend at our legs, at the knicker line of our legs. So we're going to bend forwards there, taking the bum backwards. So tummy's engaged, lower back is protected and straight. Okay, so we're in this tabletop position. So soften the knees and spread the buttocks. Put your hands either side of your knees and push your knees into your hands and feel your bum engage. And then you can just release your back and let your body stretch and let it hang. So now you feel it pull. So it's pulling because it's stretching, but it's pulling as well, and that's the pull that you get, which is the strain. So bring the hands back on the knees, take the chest to the floor, tummy button to the floor, lift the upper back up and pull those seat bones away from your head, pushing the knees into the hands so that you're engaging those glutes. Okay, lift your upper body up a bit, holding on to those glutes, keeping them fired up. Keeping them fired up. So they're engaged all the time. You pull those knees apart. So we're just going to get a bit of balance. So lifting that left heel up off the ground, keeping that right knee out. Put that left heel back down and then lift that right heel up off the ground, keeping the left knee out. And then put it back down and then lift the left heel up, right knee's pulled out. And then we can just peel up off the toe and lift the toe off the floor, trying not to let the ankle collapse and the knee roll in. Got to keep the knee out, foot is on the ball of the foot and the heel as we lift that left foot up. Put that left foot back down. So just lift it up within your capability. If you're falling over from putting the whole foot off the ground, right heel up. So and at the moment you're standing sunk back in your bum, you've got to push forwards into your hip flexors. So your bum is engaged. So standing up tall on both feet, clench the bottom and open the thighs, pulling that left knee out, lift that right knee up. So my bum is really engaged. Lift the right heel up, heel onto the tiptoe, and lift that right foot off the floor. Put the right foot down on the floor, lower the right leg. Onto the left side, so pull the right knee out, straightening up tall, clench that right buttock, lift that left heel off the ground. Lift that left foot onto the tiptoe, lift that left foot right up. Pop that left foot on the floor, lower it down, pull those knees apart. Clench with the bum, lift that right foot up, right heel up, onto the tiptoe, and then peel it right off the floor. Put it down. So when we walk, go on to the other side, we're going to go onto the right side, so we pull that right knee out, clench with the right bum, lift that left toe up. So this is walking, we've clenched with our right leg, we lift the left foot up, we step forwards, and that left knee is out wide, and then we would clench on that left side, lift that right knee up, and then put that right foot forward. So that's how we get the glutes to fire up in our walking. So that when we stand on the, when we step through, we are lengthened through that side of the body, clenching with the bum, drawing in the core, shoulders are back, lifting up that front leg. Step through, we bend to lower on this leg, and then we step up onto it. So that we get our glutes all strengthened. Okay, coming down onto your hands and knees on the floor. Right, coming down onto your hands and knees on the floor. So hands are under your shoulders, middle fingers are parallel, knees are under your hips. Turn the inside of your elbows forward so that you are engaging those shoulders. Pull your knees apart so you engage your glutes. So that's exactly what you did standing up just now. You were pulling your knees outward, which was engaging your glutes. Turn the tailbone down to the floor, push the middle of the back up and the eyes come down. And then turn the tailbone up to the sky, middle of the back comes down, head comes up. Turn the tailbone down, middle of the back goes up, eyes come down. Turn the tailbone up, middle of the back comes down, eyes come up. Come into the neutral position, so we've got our pelvis horizontal to the floor, and we're going to glide backwards towards our heels, and then glide back up again. So Annie and Mum, actually all of you, Anne, I know Sarah, it's your screen is too.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's up to the ceiling.
And on the floor.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. So everybody, take your chest forward towards your fingers. So come back into the all fours position. So chest, so Annie, try to open that chest up. So draw the core in. So let's just go back, start again here. We've got the knees on the floor. Pull the knees apart on the ground so we engage the bum. Tilt the pelvis so the tailbone goes down and you push the waistband up. Yeah, the waistband of your trousers. Now push the tailbone up and the waistband of your trousers goes down to the floor. Good. Good. Right, find the middle position of that so that you are not totally high, so that your back, your pelvis should feel horizontal to the floor. So if you take your rest on your right hand, take your left hand, feel the bony bit on the front of your pelvis, and then feel between your legs and feel the pubic bone. They want to be the same height off the ground. So you probably find that your pubic bone is a bit lower than your bony bit on the side here. Yeah, so you want to tilt the tailbone up a little bit. Yeah, like that. That's better, Annie. That's good, Mum. Sarah, that's good. And I think you can tilt yours a bit more. Yes. Right. So then lengthen your head away from your bottom. So you push your head away, which then pulls your shoulder blades back and together. Good. Right. Keeping in that position. Sarah, I think you might have a bit too much sag in your back. So lengthen as if you're being stretched out. Right, glide backwards towards your heels without changing the shape of that back. I know you'll find, Sarah, it was the sunlight on your back, it changed the shape of you. Okay, now come back up by squeezing the knees apart and pushing off those knees. Good, glide back. So we're getting that neutral spine position. You feel your tummy has to work really hard when you bend that hip. And then as you come back up, pulling the knees apart, coming back up onto all fours. So Anne, don't lose the shape, sink your chest down to the floor again. Yeah, get your chest down a bit. So watch me, Anne. I'm going to exaggerate it. As you go back, you're doing that. You're going into a child pose type back. You've got to stay in this position here and glide backwards like that. So we're training the tummy muscles to continue to keep that neutral spine so that we don't overwork the lower back. So the bum has to stretch more, and then we squeeze the knees apart and come back up. So we're stretching that hip, making it flex more. One more. Glide backwards. Glide forwards. So in this forwards position, roll those shoulders up to the ears, down and back. We're going to put the weight onto the right hand and just lift that left hand straight up in front. And bring that hand down. So roll those shoulders up to the ears, down and back, opening that chest up. Lift that left hand up off the ground. And down. Okay, lift that right hand up off the ground. And down. Lift that right hand up and down. Okay, walking those knees forward to sit down. We are going to do, that's going to be our reference, that exercise we just did. So grab your squishy ball or your roller, whichever you, yeah. So we're going to just put the squishy ball into, or the roller into the middle of our back. And we're just going to lay over, so I'm just using the squishy ball so I can just give some feedback to the squishy ball users. If you want to use the roller, then that's fine. So it's in the middle of the back. So I've got my head on the floor, my chest is up to the sky, and I'm pushing off I'm resting on my bottom. Rest your elbows on the floor if you've got the squishy ball and push on those elbows so you're opening that chest up. And then just move the ball or the roller up towards your shoulders a bit more. And do the same thing, heads on the floor, pushing, trying to lift the body off the ball. Or if you're on the roller, you're just stretching out over it. So I'm flaring my bottom ribs up to the sky. And then I walk the ball down a bit further, or the roller down a bit further, so it's up on my shoulders. And then I push the chest up to the sky. I can use my elbows on the floor. Breathing in, breathing out. And then I'm going to roll the roller or the ball down to the bottom ribs and back up again. Down to the bottom ribs and back up. And then go on to the left-hand side of your back a bit. On the left. So this does do, the squishy ball is fine for the laying over. And then go over onto the right ribs It's not quite as good when you actually move it because it sort of blancmanges around like a jelly. Okay, resting on the middle, there. I want you to, you're going to bring your chin into the chest and roll yourself up. So we're going to get off the ball for a sec, the roller. And I want you to grab your tennis ball and you're going to lie down on your right hand side. So tennis ball, Sarah, either Sarah use the roller or use the polo ball. Polo ball might be a bit hard. So take the tennis ball and rest it on the floor under your bra strap area. Support your body with your head in your hand here. If you've got an underwire bra on, don't go on the wire with the ball. You have to lift it and move it. So I'm just supporting myself like this. The ball's under my bra strap area, level with my shoulder blade. And I'm just rolling forwards and backwards over those ribs. And I'm just going to shrink my body down. I might have to put my hand in and move the ball up a bit, but basically I'm traveling my body along the edge of the back of the armpits, along the edge of the ball. So right now I'm at the base of the shoulder blade, and that's really quite uncomfortable in places there. It sends a pain up through my shoulder. That's tight muscles. So don't go, just go at a sort of 6 to 7 out of 10 discomfort. Don't go crazy with it. And if you find a pressure point, just kind of hang there. Take a big breath in, big breath out. Just move that ball a bit and loosen that. And then move the ball up a bit further. So we could spend a whole half hour on the armpit with the ball, but we're not going to, but it gives you an idea. Then wiggle backwards and forwards as you go up higher.
Oh, you certainly find the lumps. Oh,
yes. Yeah, and you will notice when we do the Superman one again, that this is what restricts that upper back as well. So moving that ball up a bit higher into the arm. So into where the arm joins the armpit. It's generally down the bottom of the shoulder blade or right here where the arm goes into the armpit that you get the troubles. Moving through here. So now I'm moving the ball back down again. And then just try to trigger point it. Good. And then move it all the way down. So it is about the bra strap area that I get the most jip.
Oh,
just massaging through there and move it all the way down. And then lift yourself off that side. And we can roll over onto, I'm going to twist over so I can keep seeing you. Go over onto the other side. And then start off with it in that rib area, or the below the shoulder blade area. And rocking forwards and backwards. So again, it's 6 out of 10 discomfort. So lift your body off it. And you govern how much weight you put on it. So you don't have to put much weight on in some places, and in other places you need to put a bit more. And then move the ball up a bit. So working it around those. And when you feel somewhere that is particularly tight, you can stay there and just do 2 or 3 big breaths in. Big breath out.
oh Lord.
Big breath in. Big breath out. And then move that ball. And then move it up the body a bit. And then get into the Yeah, moving it up through that shoulder blade, sorry, through that armpit, through the front edge of the shoulder blade, or the back edge of the armpit. You can actually tie, if you put 2 tennis balls in a sock and you tie the sock so that it's really tight, so the balls are shoved hard against each other, you can put 1 ball either side of your armpit, and that makes quite a good, it's quite good for this because it's not running off to the side all the time.
That's a good idea.
And then move the ball down a bit. Yeah, you can get vibrating things which are like the shape of a peanut, as in a peanut in its husk. And they then go keep going back down to the bottom of that shoulder blade.
Oh God, oh God.
And then, so those of you doing lifting stuff, like Sarah, if you're lugging bales of hay and bags of feed and stuff around, this is a really good thing to do every so often, because you're all sitting at the computer where your hands are forwards of your body. Okay, get rid of that ball once you've gone all the way down. And then actually we can turn over, actually take the ball again, turn over onto your back, and what you're going to do is you're just going to, when someone comes up behind you and they put their hands on your shoulders and they massage your shoulders like that, just going to let Anne in again, we're going to put the ball in that area there. So just take the ball, rolling back, laying back onto your back, and just pop it onto the top of that shoulder. But you have to support with your head a little bit. Don't do it on the shoulder blade, do it on the fleshy area of your neck. So working in that sort of top triangle.
No, it's gone again.
Anne has. We can hear you, Anne.
I left you, I'm afraid, and I hope I'm back.
You
Yes,
are back.
so I just let you back in. So get the tennis ball, and we're working it through this. We're lying on our back, and when someone does a massage and puts their thumbs in this area here, we're just using the tennis ball there for a quick little mobilize of those muscles, which will loosen up your neck. So do one side and then do the other. Do sort of, I don't know, 8 circles maybe. And then we'll get rid of the tennis ball. You can go all the way down, you know, can use the ball all the way down in the fleshy part, but you don't want it on the bony bits because it's a bit hard. And then when you've done about 8 of them, move that ball out of the way. Stay lying on your back. So then roll your, just seeing where we are. Yeah, perfect. Okay, roll the shoulders up to the ears into the floor. Slide them down. I've got my knees bent. So I've got all my ribs on the ground, top rib, middle rib, bottom rib. I'm going to flatten my lower back into the floor. And then I'm going to arch my lower back by turning the tailbone down. And then I'm going to find that neutral position. So fingers can go on your pubic bone and on the bony bit at the edge. So you probably need to lift the pubic bone up a tiny bit and flatten the lower back a little. But the lower back is basically slightly elevated off the floor. Okay, drawing in the core. So we're doing our zipping and hollowing. So tightening at the bottom of your trunk, and then drawing in all the way up to the bottom of your ribs. We used to call it like an elevator. If you're standing up, you feel the elevator going up through your middle and you tighten on it. Okay, push your fingers down towards those heels. Breathing in, and on the out breath, just turn the head or lift your head and turn it to the right. So your right ear goes on the floor, but so that your head is still straight, your spine straight. You haven't rocked your head forward and have a bend in that neck. And just stretch, pushing those fingers down towards the heels. Feel the stretch through the neck. And then just lift your head up and swivel it over to the, turning the right to the right. So we've got the right ear to the floor. So pushing those fingers down. Keeping that neutral spine shape. And then coming back up to the center. All right, breathing in. On the out breath, drawing that core in and lift that left foot up off the floor. Touch that left heel down on the floor. Lift that right foot up off the floor. So we're in neutral spine. Touch it down. So the back of our head, our eyes would be looking straight at the sky if our eyes are open. And our top rib, middle rib, bottom rib are all in contact with the floor. The shoulder blades are flat on the ground behind. Palms can face the sky. Little lift in that lower back and bring that left leg up. And then slowly take that down to the floor. Bring the right leg up for the count of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And back down for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Left leg. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Right leg. Same leg back down. 3, 2, 1. Right leg up at that same pace. Nice and slow and controlled. When it's at the top, keep those shoulders back and down. Lower that leg back down to the floor. So the slower you do it, the more intense it is. Bring that left leg up. Keep the left leg in the sky. Bring the right leg up too. No moving of that back at all. Lower that left leg down for 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring it back up. 4, 3, 2, 1. Right leg down. 4, 3, 2, 1. And up. 4, 3, 2, 1. Left leg down. 4, 3, 2, 1. Extend that leg straight. All the way up to straight. Releasing those hip flexors, clenching with that bum. Draw that knee back in. Lift it back up. Right leg down to the floor. All the way up straight. Draw that leg back in. Lift that leg back up. Left leg down to the floor. All the way out straight. Drawing it back in, keeping that torso neutral, lifting it back up. Right leg down to the floor. Extend it straight. Bring that back in. Lift it back up. Okay, both toes, keeping your core strong. Both toes down to the floor. Tap the floor. Bring both toes back up. Keep that neutral spine. It mustn't get flatter or more arched in the whole movement. Take those toes down to the floor. Bring those toes back up. Breathing in. On the out breath, lower the toes down. Breathing in at the bottom. Bring those toes back up as you breathe out. Breathe in at the top. Out as we go down. Breathe in here. Out and extend those legs away, pushing the feet on the floor. My feet are resting on the ground, pushing out straight, clench with the bum. Keep that neutral spine. Keep those shoulders back and down, palms are up. Breathing in. On the out breath, draw those heels back in towards your bum. Lift those knees back up. No movement of the spine. Breathing in. On the out breath, lower the feet to the floor. Heels down this time. Breathing in. Push away on your heels. Push all the way away. Breathing in. Breathing out. Bring those heels back in. Lift those feet back up. One more. Breathing in. On the out breath, lowering those feet down. If you want to challenge yourself further, you can keep your feet just off the ground. Take your legs out straight, but only do that if you can absolutely keep neutral spine. Extend those legs. Drawing in the core, bring those legs back in. Lift those legs back up. Take hold of the knees in your hands and bring your nose all the way into your knees, hugging up tight. And releasing the feet to the floor, head to the floor. Take the arms all the way over the head. Breathing in, breathing out, reaching those hands away. Bring that right knee into the body and stretch that left leg away. Push the left leg away from the top of the head and bring that right leg all the way over the body. And push that right hand away and push that right leg away. Turning the ear to the floor, so we're looking at that right hand. Trying to push the shoulder away from the hand and the shoulder away from the hip and the hip away from the knee and the knee away from the hip, stretching, stretching through everywhere. Roll back onto your back. Take hold of that knee, bring the other knee up. Release the right leg, keep the left leg in. Push that right leg away, pull that left knee up. Pull that left leg over your body. Push that left hand away on the floor, turn the eyes to the left. Breathing in, breathing out. Pushing that left knee to the floor, pulling the knee from the hip from the shoulder from the hip and the hand from the shoulder. And then release, go back onto your back. Bring that right knee in, bring that left knee in. Holding both knees, I've got my arms on the inside of my legs and my hands go around the front of my shins. Roll those shoulders up to the ears, down and back. Flatten the upper back, flatten the middle back, flatten the lower ribs, and then have that small lift on that the lower back and let those knees drop apart. Pull those legs away from each other. Hold them out here and push the legs into your hands without letting your hands move. Lengthen the head away from the tailbone. Breathing in, breathing out. And release. Let those knees fall apart a bit further. Pushing those knees into the hands. Breathing in. Breathing out. And release, let them stretch away again. And then hold behind your thighs and let your feet go up into the air and feel your middle of your back flatten as the tailbone lifts. Now push that tailbone down, holding onto the back of your thighs, push the tailbone down and pull those knees towards you, keeping those feet up. Keeping that neutral spine. So in this position, I can feel the middle of my ribs are pushing harder in the floor. So I want to try to get my ribs even on the floor, and then a slight lift on the tailbone. So I've got to rock that the tailbone down and the pubic bone up, and then release and let go of your legs, bring them back in, pop those feet on the floor, lengthen those legs away. Take the hands all the way over the head, breathing in on the out breath. Fingers to the sky, chin into the chest, roll yourself all the way up to sitting. Good. Roll yourself all the way up to sitting. Okay, so just loosen that head and neck. Feel that, you might feel a bit lightheaded from all of that, so just move your head. Feel that your neck feels a bit looser from all that ball rolling. Hold behind your thighs and lift yourself up, roll those shoulders all the way back and down, and then push those knees down into the ground. Holding yourself nice and vertical. So, and chest up. Good, okay. Bend your knees up, turn back over onto all fours again. Right, onto all fours. So turning your putting your hands under the shoulders, middle fingers are parallel, knees are under the hips, pull those knees apart, turn the inside of the elbows forward and engage those shoulders. Push the tailbone to the sky and the lower back comes down, eyes come up. Good. Now turn the tailbone downwards and push the middle of the back upwards and the eyes come down. So arching the back up high. Look down through your legs and check your feet are hip distance apart. Turn the tailbone up, bring the eyes up, belly comes down, stretching through the front of the body, push the chin away from the tailbone. Good, lovely. Right, now neutral spine, so it won't be far off where you are there, Anne. So make sure, so start with the pelvis, find that horizontal to the floor, so remember how you check that. Good, lengthen the head away from the tailbone, keep those knees pulling apart on the floor. Open that chest, try to straighten your arms down if you can. Straighten those elbows. Yeah, okay, right, resting on that right side, lift that left arm up. Good, it should feel easier. Left arm's up in front and then bring it back down. Good, now take the right arm up, take it up in front of you, Anne. Okay, all right, that's fine, sideways is fine.
Mhm.
Yep, and then come back. Right, then do the left arm forwards and up. Right, is that easier, Anne? That should feel easier.
Yes, I think it does.
And bring it down. So tummy, Sarah, engage your core a bit stronger so you're not quite so sunk below your ribs. Lift your ribs up. Lift that right arm up. And bring it back down. So we've got the pelvis is horizontal to the floor. And if you visualize your rib cage as a cylinder, that needs to be horizontal to the floor as well. So the breastbone is horizontal to the floor. So lengthen your head away from your tailbone, pull those shoulders back and down, keep them back and take that left arm up and free the armpit, push the fingers away. Good, and bring it down. Roll the shoulders back and down, pull that right arm up in front, pushing it away, forward. Good, and then bring it down. Okay, coming down onto your elbows and then onto your tummy. Bring those hands around by your side, palms are up. So lengthen your legs. So clenching the bottom, pushing the pubic bone into the floor. Tighten the thighs and point your toes and make your legs as long and straight as you can. So the knees and feet are probably off the ground. Lift your tummy up so it's elevated off the ground. Resting on the chest and the bottom ribs. Roll those shoulders up to the ears, down and back. Push those fingers down towards the toes. Breathing in, breathing out. Pulse those hands up to the sky for 5, 4, 3, 2. Hold them up at 1. Clenching with the bum. Breathing in on the out breath, pulsing up for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold them up high. Drawing in the core, pulsing up again for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Let everything relax. Breathing in. On the out breath, clenching the bum, lengthening those legs, pushing in that pubic bone to the floor, lifting the tummy up, roll those shoulders up to the ears, back and down, push those fingers towards the toes. Breathing in on the out breath, pulse those hands up for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold them high. Now lengthen your head from your toes so your forehead comes a centimetre or so off the ground. And bring those arms out to horizontal. Feel how your tummy wants to push in the ground. And take those arms back down towards your feet and feel how that holds you lifted up because your shoulder blades are being pulled back and together. Breathing in, drawing in that core, bring those arms all the way around and bring them forwards to like 2 o'clock and 10 o'clock.
Oh, crikey.
And then take them all the way back. Good, holding them here so our foreheads are just off the ground, drawing in the tummy, lengthen the legs and lift those arms up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release all the way down to the floor and relax. Good, breathing in, breathing out.
Sorry guys, I've got to go.
Okay, no
Thank
problem,
you.
Sarah. Nice to see you. Bring your arms level with your fingertips level with your eyes. Forearms are parallel to the upper half of your body, breathing in. On the out breath, roll those shoulders up to the ears, up to the sky, slide them down. Drawing in the core, pushing off the forearms and lifting that chest up off the ground, keeping the bottom ribs on the floor, clenching with the bum. Good. Clenching with the bum and opening that chest and release. Breathing in. On the out breath, push those forearms in the floor, open the chest, stretching, clenching with the bum and release. Slide those hands down level to your bottom ribs. Breathing in. On the out breath, roll those shoulders up and down. We're already coming to the same place. Clench the bum, lengthen the legs, draw in the tummy, push off the hands and come to that bottom rib. Upper body's up just to the bottom rib. So clenching with the bum and squeezing those shoulders and then release. So I'm not actually pushing off my hands yet. It's all coming from my back engaging. Breathing in. On the out breath, roll the shoulders up to the ears, down and back. Clench the bum, push it in the floor. Lift that tummy up off the floor. And then lift that upper back up. Using the hands as a bit more help. Stretch and open that chest. And then lower. Breathing in. On the out breath, we're going to come all the way up onto our knees, but slowly. Lengthening the legs, clenching the bum, squeezing the shoulder blades, lifting the upper back up, pushing the hands on the floor, drawing in the tummy, and then lift up, straightening those arms onto the knees. Good. Up into the up dog. Good. And then bum in the air, back into child pose. Is your back okay, Anne?
Yes.
Good. Stretching.
It only hurt when I was doing the lifting the legs. One side really did hurt. Then.
Okay, good.
So it's been good.
Okay, reaching forward with those hands. All right, coming forwards. Walking ourselves forwards with our knees. Lying back on the floor. So get your squishy ball nearby. Okay, so knees are bent, feet are flat on the floor. Roll yourself all the way down. And then we're going to place the squishy ball under our pelvis. So under the middle of our pelvis. So it's got the edge of it is not quite, the bottom edge is not quite at my tailbone. So we're going to stabilise the pelvis here. So we're not horizontal to the floor because we've got our bum lifted, obviously. So you've got to guesstimate what the angle would be for your back to be in neutral. So your tailbone is going to be down a little bit, drawing in the tummy muscles. So we support that lower back. Roll those shoulders up to the ears, down and back. And then you're going to lift that right leg up and you have to engage, pushing the pelvis into the floor. And then push that right foot back down. And then engage, lift that left foot up. So you get a very deep contraction of those core muscles and release. Breathing in, on the out breath, lift that right foot up, keeping that neutral spine. Lower that right foot down. Lift that left foot up. Lower that left foot down. Lift that right foot up, hold it there. Lift that left foot up as well, balancing on the ball. Touch that right foot on the ground. Clench and lift that right foot up. Take that left foot down. Clench and lift that left foot up. Lower the right foot. Lower the left foot. Release the tummy muscles, let the back arch a little bit. You can massage the ball on that lower back, on that sacroiliac joint area. You can massage in a circle.
I found that much better than without the ball.
Right, okay, so sometimes when it's easy, well, in this position, you're suspended. So therefore you have to engage. When you're flat on the floor, you're kind of used to lying flat on the floor and not having anything turned on. So sometimes when you actually challenge a bit further, it makes it easier because the muscles kick in, and it's those simple ones that are where you get the injury because you kick in after the event, as it were.
Right.
So in this neutral spine position, so we've got to make sure we're in neutral. So the danger of the bum on the ball is that your back arches and your tailbone falls down to the floor. So you've got to make sure that your tailbone, your pelvis, so my body is, I don't know, 10-degree angle off the ground now. So I've got to have my pelvis at that 10 degrees. And my pubic bone is going to be higher than these lumpy bits. I draw the core in like I'm stopping myself having a wee, and then I lift that right foot up and I touch that right foot down. I lift that left foot up and touch that left foot down. I lift the right and then the left. Lower the right, lower the left. Lift the left, lift the right, lower the left, lower the right. Push through the heels and just move that ball out of the way. And let that back flatten on the floor. Okay, breathing in with your heels, breathing out, push through the heels, lift that tailbone up and come up into the bridge. Breathing in at the top, breathe out and lower yourself all the way back down to the ground. Breathing in at the bottom, arch the back, breathe out, flatten the back, lift the tailbone up and come up into the bridge. Breathe in at the top, breathe out, lower the back down and arch it at the bottom. Lengthen your legs out straight. Bring those fingers up into the sky, chin into the chest and roll yourself all the way up to sitting and reach forwards towards those feet. Good. Breathing in. Breathing out, sit yourself up. Put that left hand on the right knee, right hand behind, lift and turn. And then put the right hand on the left knee, left behind, and lift and turn the other way. Put both hands on the floor in fists behind you. Pull those elbows together. Push those arms to straight, lifting that chest up. Tighten the thighs and push the knees down into the ground. Breathing in. Breathing out. Pull those shoulders back and together. Clench with the bum and just lift those hips up off the ground. And then lower back down again. Hands on your legs. Roll yourself forwards. Soften those knees. Pull the right knee into the ground. Pull the left knee into the ground. Pull both knees in. So mum, you bend your knees, lean yourself forward, and then you stretch the hamstrings. Sit yourself up straight, rolling those shoulders. All the way up to the ears, round and back. Do circles with your hands. Leave those hands up into the sky. Breathing in. So I've got my knees a bit bent. Pull the chest forward. My elbows are bent. Hands are just above my head. And I'm going to push those arms straight up into the sky. My knees are bent. Bringing that chest up. Try to get your breastbone up. Tummy button forward. Push that right knee down. Push that left knee. Push both knees down as far as you can. Release those hands, bring all the way down and wide. Rest them on your legs and roll your shoulders.
Oh dear.
Well done. So just, yeah, slightly different stuff. So, yeah, that should, so opening up those armpits, the tennis ball is good for that. Opening up the armpits, getting the range. So if you're stiff in your arm here, that will mean that you'll do that with your torso when you want to reach. So not only have you got if you've got a hunchback thing going on, your arms, that is straight for the angle that's coming off your back. That if my back's straight, that's straight up. If my back's humped, that's straight. But if your back's straight and you're limited by your shoulders, that will also cause you to overwork your lower back. You've got to get everything going.
Yeah.